There's a device that I've been using called a Whoop.
I'm loving the American flag getup we've got going on right now.
Hello, and welcome back to IGOW2. Field Reporter Dan here to introduce weekly challenge number 13, the FreedomFPV TweetFPV Grips Reverse Cube Cross. So for this week's challenge, you're going to need a cube gate, or you can use just 4 gates with maximum opening of 27 inches set up in the same configuration. But you're also going to need something on top that you can land on to complete the challenge. So I'm taking just a piece of cardboard here, and I've cut it so it fits right on top of the cube. So it's not necessary for you to go out and buy a Tiny Move cube gate, or even create your own cube gate obstacle. You could probably find a small end table, or a chair, or a stool that will serve as an obstacle for this week's challenge. Basically, it just needs to have 4 legs that create openings of 27 inches or less, and the openings have to be a maximum of 12 inches or less off the ground. And of course, you need some type of surface on top that you can land on to complete the challenge. Now let's go back to Dan in the studio to break down the prizes and all the challenge requirements. Thanks, Field Reporter Dan. If you don't already have a cube gate, you should try making one like IGOW Season 1 champion Steve K did, or you should consider buying one from tinywhoop.com. It's a really useful gate, and you can also unzip it to use it as a triple stack gate, which will be used in future IGOW2 challenges. This week's featured sponsors are FreedomFPV, aka Casey McClintock, and TweetFPV Grips by Dan Pelkey. Both sponsors are also players in IGOW2. FreedomFPV will be providing a 3D printed Whoop box to the winner of Best Video this week, as well as a Flight Test Mighty Mini Airplane Kit as a random giveaway. Thanks, Casey. The other sponsor for this week is TweetFPV Grips, and they have generously provided 3 sets of transmitter grips from their website, link in the description below. So we'll be giving out 1 to Best Video of this week, 1 as a random giveaway prize, and 1 to a live stream viewer during the Week 13 long stream. Thanks, Dan. All right, now let's jump into the requirements for weekly challenge number 13, the FreedomFPV TweetFPV Grips Reverse Cube Cross. Requirement number 0 is that your video is a maximum of 90 seconds long, and you include your pilot name somewhere in your submission. Requirement number 1 is that you find a chair or a table with maximum openings of 27 inches square, like a cube gate, or you just put a top on an existing cube gate using a piece of cardboard or something like this. Then your obstacle can be placed anywhere, inside or outside, to complete the challenge. Requirement number 2 is that you must fly FPV for this entire challenge. Line of sight is not allowed, and if you fly with a FPV screen, please face yourself away from the obstacle so you can't accidentally glance up and get a look at it. In the first part of requirement number 3, you will orbit yourself, so please make it obvious that you're either wearing your goggles or if you're using an FPV screen that you're faced away from the obstacle. Requirement number 3 is that you must perform all of the following maneuvers in order, in a row, all in one clip. So you're going to want to start with your obstacle in the middle of the area you're flying so that there's room on all sides. And step number 1 is to orbit yourself so that we can see you're flying FPV, and then orbit the obstacle. So then step number 2 is to, after you've completed a full orbit, to line up the cube so that you're facing 2 openings, and then fly over the top of the obstacle. And then step number 3 is going to start your flying backwards. And from step number 3 through completion of step number 5, you must fly backwards the entire time. So step number 3 is you're going to tilt back, and you're going to fly backwards through both openings of the obstacle that are parallel. And then while flying backwards for step number 4, you're going to turn 270 degrees around the side of the cube so that you're flying backwards now to the 2 perpendicular openings to the first ones you flew. And step number 4 is to, after you turn, to fly through both of those openings backwards. And then again, you're going to keep flying backwards and turn another 270 degrees, this time the opposite direction that you turned the first time, which should line you up again with the two openings that you started with. And then again, fly backwards through those two openings, and that will complete step number 5. After you've done step number 5, step number 6 is a celebration roll. Yay! Because you've just completed the most difficult part of the challenge. And step number 7 is to land on the top of the obstacle with the drone right side up and then disarm to complete the challenge. So in the area that you're flying, you're allowed to line your cube up with landmarks so it'll help you identify when you're in front of the different faces of the cube. But you're not allowed to put anything like cones or flags or like LED rope lights on the ground or around the cube in the area that you're flying to help you line it up. That would not be allowed. You can practice this week's challenge in the simulator and get used to flying around backwards, but I still think it's going to take a bunch of attempts in real life at the location you choose so you get used to flying backwards through the obstacle. So don't wait until the last minute to try the challenge this week. Good luck and happy whooping!